Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today, including this guy. Worst luck on the planet, or at least in the United States. Did you guys see that story of the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, getting her purse stolen at a restaurant? Did you see that?
No.
Mm-mm.
So she had a bunch of money in it because she was doing things. This is back around Easter. And then all of like credentials and stuff like that. I mean, she's a big deal as the national security director. So she's out at dinner and somebody steals her purse. And which really, the first thing is, like, you have a detail of, like, Secret Service. How did someone steal your purse right under their nose?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first question I would ask.
Right. Yeah. Like there should be precautions put into place for this.
Like no one was watching. Like, usually when my wife gets up at a restaurant, it happened yesterday. We were at, Texas Roadhouse. She gets up and she's like, my purse is there. I'm leaving my purse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Like, I guess you're so secure and you're not with your girlfriends or a spouse that you don't think to tell all these guys on a security detail, hey, I'm getting up, my purse is over there.
I guess.
Keep an eye on her. What do you think?
Yeah.
And so she goes, purse gets stolen. The guy who stole it uses it to buy some food and some alcohol at a different restaurant. Turns out they caught him because he used her credit card.
Oh, okay.
So they catch him.
Silly.
She described him as a career criminal who has been in our country illegally for years.
Yep.
Here's the bad luck. Right now, with all the deportations going on and the political climate around this, you stole the purse of the Homeland Security Director, and you're here illegally.
Wow.
How long do you think you're going to be in this country till you are completely gone?
There was already a light put on you.
Yeah.
But it was at least in a mass of people, okay? Then you asked for the spotlight.
Yeah.
And you stepped out among the crowd.
You stole the wrong purse this day, my friend. And so, yeah, I have a feeling he will be out of here so fast his head is going to spin.
Oof.
But it does go to show, like, sometimes when people are living here illegally, if you can't work or what have you, they do desperate things or they resort to this kind of stuff. And I think that's part of the problem that we're talking about inside of how do you fix immigration? Because something has to be done about it, you know? And I know Trump came in and he had a completely different plan than Biden, and so he's doing his thing. But ultimately, I think it's really difficult inside of this. I think these are the cases where you're like, all right, you're a criminal. You've been robbing people here. This wasn't his first time. And you're here illegally, the options are obvious. You're gone, you know? And like, how did he get arrested before and not get sent out?
Yeah.
That's what I can't figure out. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I think the harder things inside of immigration are when you have families that have been here and yes, they're illegal. They came for a better life. You know, everyone's going to try to better your lives. And you don't do it the right way, but then someone gets caught up in that. How do you have humanity inside of policy? I think that's important.
Because I think people get really upset about stuff like that where they're like, well, Jesus says to, do this and this. And I feel like people don't choose to acknowledge the fact that God always operates on consequences as well. Like he is a God of consequences. And I think a lot of people try to ignore the consequences side of that. And sometimes that's just not altogether the easiest topic to approach.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, and you could even make the case, the whole thing about when you're supposed to follow the law, that Jesus talks about, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and he's talking about these leaders are in place that have been put in place by God, and you have to abide by these things, and it's like, well, that's the law of our land, and so it's not being un-Jesus-like, but like the actual immigration. But the thing inside of it that I do keep coming back to is, there is the law, there's the spirit of the law, the letter of the law, but then inside of it, we see policies or we see issues, and it's really hard to see people sometimes until you're standing in front of a person. Because it's real easy to make blanket statements and be like, well, this has to change today, and I don't care who gets affected. And if you're looking into somebody's eyes that's watched their life get turned around, it's hard, And so inside of this, I still think things need to be done, but I do believe that we need to have as much compassion as we humanly can inside of this when you're dealing with people and their emotions. Speaking of emotions, do you know the name Jodie Sweetin?
Oh, you're hitting. I feel like we're both getting hit with some names that neither of us know.
Oh, you have to know this one.
Jodie what?
Sweetin. She was on Full House.
Oh,
she
like
was how rude on Full House.
Okay.
Yeah, she was.
That's just not a name I feel like I've
not
I've
DJ
put to
Tanner.
memory.
What was it?
Candace Cameron is is the name that I feel like I know.
Yeah, she was the other one.
The best friend. I don't know the best.
No,
friend
she was the daughter. She was the other daughter.
Yes.
And so Jodie Sweetin and Andrea Barber, like I guess they do like a podcast or something, and so they opened up about an awkward conversation they were asked about.
Stephanie.
Yes, thank you. John Stamos during one of their mini episodes of their podcast. How rude! And so they were asked. They were playing Would You Rather, and the question came up was, would you rather marry Joey Gladstone or Jesse Katsopoulos? Okay, so Uncle Joey or Uncle Jesse. And both agreed eventually that Uncle Joey was the better choice due to Jesse's toxic male traits.
Oh,
that's so funny.
Toxic.
Like right there, when I hear somebody say, and you're talking about a character on TV, and I wouldn't marry him because of his toxic male traits, I go, okay, I know exactly what I'm dealing with. I'm never going to listen to this podcast.
But he agreed with her.
He did? John Stamos
Isn't that
did?
what you said?
No. No. And so they said, no, the two girls agreed. But then it's funny because they're like, they kind of agreed and walked past the question. But then they say, when people ask us in interviews, did you have a crush on John Stamos? They're like, no, that's gross. You know, they were like our older brothers. But again, like little girls will have crushes on celebrities and stars and things like. I don't think that question is out of balance or weird, but they were both like offended by it, and I don't see why you would be offended by that. You just, I mean, it's not like you're married now and going, hey, who's your man crush? Yeah, that's awkward. But like when you were a little girl, did you have a crush? Betty had a crush on members of NSYNC, I think it's
like
just normal.
to forget that.
I know, but it's okay.
I looked it up to see what are the terrible things Jesse has done.
Yeah, his toxic male traits.
Yes, he kissed his high school flame and came running home to tell Becky about it and how it was a good thing.
That's not a good thing.
He got jealous of Becky talking to a celebrity when they did the show at the casino. Also, just casually swoons on the Greek family friend and forgets Becky's name.
Oh, boy.
It's not looking good.
He's a cad, that one. Yeah, okay. So I guess he had some bad traits, but he was also a good husband.
Like his bad stuff is not the entire character.
Well, the funny thing is though too, like some of those are kind of the quirky. You have to they had to draw like the lines in the sand for like, okay, he's got to do something that's a little wrong so that they could make the point of
he's the bad guy.
Right. But then they couldn't make it so wrong.
Right.
Because
it's Full House.
Exactly. And so so they have to have the kiss with the high school flame. But that's a mess. Like honestly, that's a mess. Like that can destroy a relationship.
Would you say it's toxic?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And we're back.
I know, yeah.
Let me ask real quick. So, toxic masculinity is a phrase that is thrown around very easily, very often.
I would love for someone to say that Gavin and I are toxic masculine.
Good night.
That would be so nice. We've never been accused of
not
that.
A chance.
Toxic masculinity refers to narrow and harmful expectations placed on men, often associated with aggression, emotional suppression, and the devaluation of women.
Yeah, I think the devaluation of women is the big thing, and that when you hear that phrase used,
and that's very valid.
That's the go-to.
What about toxic, like you can
definitely have toxic feminism because it's definitely it's outrage about men.
Do you think it's the same though? Is toxic feminism like even the same as toxic masculinity, or does it come across in a different flavor? I've never looked it up, and I've also never.
I don't think it's been used as a term. You're breaking new ground here, Gavin.
Usually, when women are criticized for an overall trope, it's usually
I think it would be called toxic feminism. Would be instead of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, because toxic femininity is
feminism.
Stereotypical feminine behavior in order to appeal to men. So I think that's different. So feminism.
Yeah.
Feminism is definitely probably going to be a little on the hate men side.
Right. As is with the toxic masculinity, it's more on the degrade women side is the bigger part of that.
Like that's our big thing, that men like that, like we sometimes have to own that, and then sometimes we get a little too flavorful with criticizing guys for that when they're just doing things that are part of their personality instead of like, oh, toxic man.
Yeah.
But I just don't get. We get a bad rap sometimes.
Yeah.
Not you and I apparently. Again,
no, I've never been accused of being too masculine.
I'm not even close.
Lady Rock.
Toxic feminism refers to extreme or distorted expressions of feminist ideology that end up promoting hostility, superiority, or resentment, particularly toward men, rather than true equality and mutual respect.
Yeah. I get that.
So causing division.
Each one of those in its extreme is not good.
Yes, and I think
either direction.
I think people broaden the extreme spectrum too much. So
yeah.
Okay.
What do you got, Rock?
Tesla vandalism. They are reporting Tesla is finding out that there is more and more cases of vandalism when it comes to their cars. I have a friend that recently dealt with this. Her and her husband have a Tesla, and she took it to work, came back out, and realized that some guy took a red permanent marker and wrote on the hood of the car.
And Teslas have cameras all around them. Like, so everyone that vandalizes Teslas, they get caught.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But here's are a couple of interesting facts about it. They realized that there's more vandalism on Teslas in the South compared to the North, East, and West.
Interesting.
That Tesla owners also deal with a lot of rude gestures or negative comments aimed toward them on the road. A lot of them say that they will drive less or avoid certain areas if they are in their Tesla. And some say they wouldn't buy another Tesla. Once this Tesla runs out, they're done. Also, higher insurance cost is coming up due to vandalism. So average increase equaling $340 per year.
Nice. Well, let's walk through this for a hot second. You go, okay, why are all these Teslas being vandalized? Well, it's because Elon Musk, who is the founder of Tesla, is also the head of Doge. And I think Doge is starting to wind back now.
What is Doge?
Department of Government Efficiency.
Oh.
So that's where he got put in charge of that with from President Trump. And so he has become the face and the villain of all of the cutbacks, okay? So let's walk through this for a minute. Prior to this election cycle and this thing, the Tesla was seen as the environmentally friendly car. This is the car, it's electric. It's not gas guzzling like all you Republicans want gas guzzlers and you want to drill, baby, drill. You are our green people. So a lot of people that drive Teslas, and these are generalizations, are, maybe on the Democratic side of things. And so they're like, okay, I'm driving a Tesla. I'm doing my part for the environment. And they can be either political party, But then you have Musk get put in this position. Now, people who don't agree with Trump and Musk are vandalizing these cars, and so they are the liberal people that wanted you to own a Tesla 6 months ago. But now they're penalizing you for owning a Tesla, and they could be penalizing their own people that bought the Tesla to do what they felt was the right thing for the country and for the world and the environment. And now you're punishing your own people by and large.
I recently passed by one of those Tesla trucks, and it had
so cool
stickers or bumper stickers all over it that had Elon, the name Elon, but with a circle around it and an X over it.
That's funny.
So I guess that they were putting that all over their truck,
right?
So that people wouldn't vandalize.
Well, yeah, because they already bought it. They don't want to sell it.
To broadcast.
So they're trying to tell people.
That's a great idea.
Like the car has now become a.
That's so funny.
When we're in foreign countries and they're driving us around, a lot of times we're in a car that has a gun drawing and a circle around it with a thing like we don't have guns. So like, look, we don't have guns. We have to still drive a car, but we don't have guns. Don't rob us, And so it's the same type thing. It's like, look, I bought this car. I don't agree with the politics of it. So don't burn my car, please. Like, that's fascinating.
But I wonder if that's why Musk stepped down, because he's not working closely with Trump anymore.
It's starting to wind down. And I wonder if it's because he saw the
the sale of his cars, or that they're getting.
It's hit them hard.
Yeah.
It's definitely hit them hard. So he's like, yeah, I got to focus back on that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, dude's a businessman. At the end of the day, the guy is a multi-billionaire and wants to run successful companies and wants to make money.
Still rules.
Yeah, and so, there you got your politics, but if you're watching your company that you created get destroyed because of something you did over here, then you're like, well, this isn't paying me.
Right.
I don't think he was making any. I doubt you could pay him to do the Doge stuff, or I think there was a symbolic dollar payment or something like that. I don't know. I don't think he was making a bunch of money doing that. But you're like, I got to go take care of my business now, because this thing backfired on him in a way that I don't think even he would have thought. I would have never thought it, but there you go. Do you have any birthdays today?
I do.
Okay,
I have one.
Ooh, let's go.
Valerie wants to wish her husband Damon a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Damon.
Man.
She said he turns on the Wally Show for me in his truck, even if he'd rather be listening to one of his podcasts.
I get it, Damon.
I think he likes y'all. Also, he's the best husband I could ever ask for. Happy 38th, babe.
Oh, what a good
Happy birthday, Damon.
I love shout outs for people that don't like us. Yes! No, happy birthday, man.
Turn us on.
That's so good.
If each of you went on a road trip, no flying, for about a week, and you were trying to make it as low cost, budget friendly as possible, where would you go and why?
I literally just thought of this the other day when I saw a guy walking, and I thought of the Appalachian Trail and how people go hike the Appalachian Trail and you just carry everything on your back and you go for X amount of miles and you camp out every night. I actually thought I wouldn't mind trying part of the trail, like for a week, like, and go and just see what you see, or go to like some state parks, stuff like that, and more what do they call it? I forget. There's a term about camping where you don't have electricity, and it's a term I can't remember. Obviously, I don't do it. But it's more like roughing it type camping. It's not glamping.
Yeah.
And so I would do that.
I would get one of those cars or a van. Van would probably take more gas money, but I would take maybe a car that I've seen on TikTok where people like take out the back seat and they put a mattress back there. Okay.
That's what my sister does.
Yeah. Oh.
She's working at one of those compounds that does whitewater rafting. In northern New Mexico.
That's cool.
And they have an area where you can basically like sleep on a cot in like the open air and all this stuff. But she's like, I'll just put a mattress in the back of my car.
Nice.
So that's what she's doing right now.
That'd be a great story.
It's kind of impressive.
Yeah, when she's older, like, had some life experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would travel in that, so keep my gas pricing down. I would.
Campground.
Yeah. Yeah, I would go to all the KOAs, I guess. I don't know. And I would want to see all the national parks as well. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do like national
What's
parks.
interesting, so like, how inherently outdoorsy of a person are you? Because I've heard you talk about this, but then I also don't.
I've also watched you complain walking from the door to your car here about how hot it is.
I don't get outdoor spending timey vibes from you.
Okay.
And that's just an observation. I could be totes wrong.
No, I appreciate that question.
I do get murdered in the woods for you.
Thank you. I would say when I was younger, I would say when I was younger, I was definitely more outdoorsy.
Yeah. You were more of a tomboy, you said.
But nowadays, it's harder because when we get out of here, it's the hottest time of the day.
100%. And you sleep in, too, on weekends.
And I sleep in. And two, like,
God made air conditioning. Why would I not want it?
So how badly do you want to national park?
I want to try it.
Do you want to go to national parks, or do you want to go to national parks?
What you should
I want to try it.
What you should do is go to a national park, but stay in a cabin. Like they have cabins you can rent, and they have lodges. Well, yeah, they have lodges. They have cabins. That way, you're not on the ground sleeping in a tent. Because I don't see you as a tent camper.
There are ways to do it comfortably.
I think you could have fun. I think you would enjoy being out in nature and hiking a little bit and seeing stuff. I think you would love that. And doing it at a national park in like a cabin would be
What
good.
I want is an RV.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Like take home with you. That's a good way of looking at it. Like you should, if you
and I
look
would say
rental.
too, like when you're camping, it's harder when you're like blind, like me.
Yeah.
I need to get like a laser surgery or something on my eyes. But you know, put your contacts in and stuff. Like where are you gonna wash your hands?
Yeah, you got to wear your glasses when you camp.
And I don't want to wear my glasses when I'm hot, sweaty, and camping.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't camp. Maybe you should get a book of national parks and just look at them.
Like you could get home, put it like how we have these screens on.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm going to start putting national parks on these, like footage of them like flying through.
I would love that.
Actually,
so I can plan my list of things that I'm going to go to and visit.
Because we have tons of national parks in Nashville.
You did yoga
Tennessee.
or Pilates longer than I thought you would do it. So maybe this could actually happen.
Yeah.
I'm not betting on it, but I'd love to see it happen for you.
We'll see.
Gavin?
I picture you, though, with your week out in the camping as Michael Scott. I have cut my pants to be shorts, and now they are a hat.
And then taping them back on because I really did the wrong thing. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Gavin.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of that camping or trail hiking or anything like that because I know who I am, and that's just not gonna.
Fly.
That's not gonna fly for me. I'll just road trip on a route that's got all my friends on it.
Oh, so
and I'll just
couch surf.
I'll just couch surf for a week and see some buddies that I haven't seen for a while and not pay for housing.
I love that you didn't even mention your family.
They're in New Mexico.
Wait, you didn't either, did you?
Oh, wait, I didn't.
Yeah. New Mexico. I love it. We're done driving to New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
That is.
Are you taking Bennett with you?
2 days. Yeah, we're
couch
going,
surfing?
We're going. Oh, am I taking Bennett couch surfing?
No.
That kid's. Because then I have to bring a pack and play, his sound machine,
let's just call it what it is. That kid is Hayden, a real life Hayden to him.
I was in full transparency. I walked in yesterday, turned around, and I was like, "Hey, got pretty exciting news about the end of May.
Yeah,
where my wife is like looking to go to her sister's baby shower for my nephew that's being born later this year, and." She's like, and I think I'm gonna take Bennett on this weekend.
And I want you to come with me.
No,
she didn't say that.
Just that. No, she's looking at getting like a plane ticket because he can fly for free until he's 2, I believe. Yeah. She's like, I probably would just take him, but I strongly offered, you can go. I'll handle Bennett. We'll hang out, daddy son weekend, and she turned it into no. I think I'll take him. Yeah. So.
Don't make any plans, though.
Yeah, I know, because it's a baby.
There's no ticket in it, so she can cancel that plan anytime she wants.
Yeah, and to take a baby on a plane.
Oof. It's not something that I personally am like I want her to have fun at this because it's for her, it's for her sister.
Well, if it's a baby shower, then grandparents will be there, and it won't be as hard. Just getting there, it stinks. Yeah. But you'll know she'll want to take the baby because then it's like, look, it's your grandson
see your family,
or your niece or
they
nephew.
Get to see him.
Yeah.
Like it's objectively. Bennett stuff is objectively harder if it's just me and him at home, as opposed to when she gets out there. Boom! Here's here's Momo and Popo. Boom! You're done.
Yeah, it'll be easier. For her and
again,
for you.
Fingers crossed. Not making plans, but I'm also like I haven't had a gap week.
Since that golf trip like a few weeks ago. Oh yeah, you thought we forgot? No, we didn't. All right,
I'm a good dad.
Yeah, I know you are. You're a great dad. All right, that's gonna have to do it for our Aftercast. And as always, thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.